Well, welcome back. As promised, Mr. Tom O'Connell is in the studio. He is the founder and managing member of the Notos Group. He's here to talk about a concept, a casino proposal in Wareham. Thank you for being here this morning.
Good morning, Queen.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
inviting me.
Thank you for saying yes. Anyhow, so when we were talking, before even the cameras were on us, you mentioned that this is just a concept. This is so early on in the stage, right? We cannot get into the specifics. We can only talk about the broader picture.
I think it's important to recognize the fact that it is very, very early in the process. And a number of things will have to happen in order for this to even be possible. So it's the beginning of a dialogue, and that's one reason why I think it's great to take some questions, and it's great to have these meetings. And people should have the opportunity to ask any questions that come up.
Fantastic. So let's talk about the concept, what it is, what you presented to the selectmen. What are you pitching here?
So our concept is based on a thoroughbred racetrack concept. That is really the anchor. That is really the hub of the program. So we are talking about a full 1 mile thoroughbred racetrack. And again, that's kind of the center and feature of the development. So what comes along with that is stables for up to 500 horses, an equine health facility, and a legitimate 1 mile racetrack, which, you know, you hear about thoroughbred racing, sometimes people try to do it on a smaller track. I want to make this would be something that would hopefully save thoroughbred horse racing in the Commonwealth and not just be a Band-Aid for the industry. Beyond that, we are talking about having a Category 2 level license as far as the casino questions go, not a Category 1, and that's a very important distinction to make. And we can talk more about that. I think we should. Beyond that, there's a baseball field for the gatemen. We met with Tom Gay from the Cape Cod Baseball League. They've been playing behind the high school, as you know, for many years. And I think it would be a wonderful thing for the Cape Cod Baseball League, in particular the gatemen, to have this beautiful new field to play on. The program goes on to include a 171-key hotel. There would be restaurants. There would be a small entertainment facility. So I think as you hear the project being described, you can get the sense of kind of a sports-oriented destination. So it is large in scale. It truly is a regional economic development plan. And one very, very important feature is an interchange. The land is located right on Route 25. And I think in order to have a development of this scale be successful, you need to have great access. So that's why we're programming a full diamond interchange, which just means you can access it from any direction.
Now, this proposal is very ambitious in so many levels. Okay, it's going to require some changing of the law, the gaming law.
Correct.
Okay. So before even we talk about that, we dive into the challenges that you are facing currently. Let's talk about you and your family. I mean, this will be ambitious to you guys too, being your first casino if it's approved.
We, as you know, as we talked about before the camera started rolling, have some projects in Quincy that were ambitious in nature and were very successful. One of the reasons why we decided to have the announcement for this project in both Quincy and then later that same day in Wareham is because of the proven track record. We're able to take on big challenges. We're able to take on big projects and solve problems along the way. So even though this is ambitious, this is what we do.
This is what you do. All right, so let's talk about the challenges that you're facing. And let's talk about the level 2 casino versus level 1.
Yes.
Tell us more details.
So the gaming law, as I think you know, created 3 zones in the Commonwealth. And it created 3 Category 1 licenses and 1 single Category 2 level license. So the Category 1 license is a full destination resort casino. So we all know that one of those landed in Springfield, MGM. So that's Region B. So that's all set. In Region A, we all know that Encore landed in Everett. And we also know that the 1 single Category 2 level license, which means 1,250 electronic games, landed in Plainville, so Plainridge Park. Basically, Region C has been left. And even though the Gaming Commission opened up Region C for a competition, they only had one applicant, and that was denied in 2016. And they petitioned for reconsideration, and just a month ago, the Gaming Commission, with finality, denied that motion for reconsideration. So Region C, which is the southeast region, really will not benefit from the gaming law unless the legislature recognizes current market conditions and takes a look at that Category 1 license. And does that really make sense in Region C? It doesn't. It really doesn't, because of the location of Plainridge Park and Encore. If you had a map here, I'd point to Region C, which again is Plymouth County and Barnstable County and Bristol County and Dukes County, so think like Brockton South. If someone came along, Queen, and gave you $1 billion to try to find a location for a Category 1 casino, in Region C, I don't think you'd be able to do it. And I say that because no matter where you go in Region C, you can't find a location that won't significantly cannibalize and destabilize the existing license holders. So you'd never want to build a full destination resort casino in a town in Region C knowing that you're just going to take business away from Plainridge Park and Encore. It doesn't make sense from the Commonwealth standpoint to do that. It doesn't make sense from the Gaming Commission's position. Their mandate, as you probably read, is to create robust, long-term, sustained tax revenue from gaming. So they're never going to look at a Category 1 license and place it somewhere where it's going to cause havoc in the industry. So that's why I think the legislature should take the Gifford bill that has been submitted and recognize current market conditions and give the Gaming Commission the discretion to right-size a license if that makes the most sense. Let's have them open up Region C for a fair, open, highly competitive process. So I know I'm enthusiastically telling you all the details here. So there's this first hurdle, which is the legislative one, which gives nothing to us specifically. It only gives something to Region C, the southeast region. It gives the southeast region the opportunity to gain and benefit from the gaming legislation. And without that, nothing will happen. Because no one's going to come in with a Category 1 license, in my opinion, and overcome the economics and common sense of being able to be in a place that doesn't destabilize the existing license holders. So we think it's a more elegant solution to give the Gaming Commission this discretion and authority to right-size a license. If someone has a Category 1 idea, I think they should be able to apply. But if people have Category 2 ideas, like our idea here in Wareham, I think they should have the opportunity to present their plans as well.
Okay. Well, you have some support. You have some local support on your back, helping you, listening to you, okay? What you're saying makes sense to them. So once this hurdle is resolved, then it's open. Then it's no longer just you. Other people can come and compete.
Absolutely. In fact, it was, I think, falsely reported initially in the press that I was trying to get this directed to us. It was exactly wrong to say that, because we're actually willing to compete, and I think, in fact, the ones that are calling for this competition. But you make a really good point. We're not even sure if we have the best idea. We could lose. This is a very competitive process. There's a very, very lucrative tax package that comes along with a host community agreement, and there will be many, many towns and cities that will want those tax dollars, and they will compete for this. So we have to think of this as an opportunity for Wareham, and there'll be other towns and cities that will view it the same way. So once the Gaming Commission is given that authority, I have to recognize the fact that there could be a better idea out there.
So why are you attracted to Wareham? Why would this make sense in Wareham?
This makes sense in Wareham because of the Goldilocks principle. It's just right. It's just far enough away from Encore and just far enough away from Plain Ridge to not in any significant way destabilize those existing license holders. We have market studies that show that in this region, Region C, in this town, Wareham, and on that specific parcel of land, we are able to repatriate, recapture dollars that are currently driving over to Rhode Island. It's a sin to see Massachusetts license plate sitting in those facilities when those tax dollars should be staying here in the Commonwealth. So we think Wareham is the exact perfect location for a Category 2 level license. And again, we have market studies that demonstrate that. We just need the opportunity to compete.
Well, this is very interesting. Your response to this is you're recognizing the potential in Wareham rather than seeing it as, or taking advantage of Wareham. Completely different from some people have said, residents in Wareham, when I told them that I'm going to be sitting here with you today. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned before, when marijuana was introduced, when we voted yes to bring marijuana into our town, mm-hmm. people were questioning our morals. Like, what is this going to do to us? Okay? We seemed desperate that we are making decisions because we do not have the revenue. We are struggling in this town. Mm-hmm. Most of our departments are underfunded. Now, you're coming in the picture, and let's say, yes, you get approved, everything goes completely right. Others would still see us as making decisions because we are deprived in some sort. So bring that idea close to home, how you see this as an opportunity not only for you, but for us.
I don't see it that way. I see this as an incredible opportunity where Wareham wins. You know, this isn't me coming in and trying to build a factory or something that could be viewed in a negative way, or a power plant or something like that. This is something that Wareham could be very, very proud of.
Winning by 1,000 jobs.
I think that we should take a step back and realize that unless the legislation, the Gifford bill passes, there'll be no opportunity for these 1,000 union construction workers. There will be no 1,000 permanent jobs. There will be no way to activate tourism. This is something that can be very, very positive for Wareham. That's why I just hop in my car in Quincy and drive here. I'm not flying in from out of town to take this meeting and sit here with you, Queen. I'm local, and I want to do great things in Wareham the way we've done great things in Quincy. And I'd invite you to take this show on the road and come visit us in Quincy, and we can walk you around some of our facilities, because kind of that's where the rubber meets the road. If you can deliver on the promises that are made, that's where I think the difference is with us.
Okay. So where are we at the moment?
We are waiting for a hearing. The Economic Development and Emerging Technologies Committee, it's a joint committee, Lesser and Ferrante, so Senator Lesser and Representative Ferrante are the co-chairs of that committee, and it's a public hearing, and we will have an opportunity to go in and talk about the Gifford bill, and obviously Representative Gifford will be there. And I think it's important to recognize that that in and of itself is a separate process. You could actually support that, which is really focused on Region C, the Southeast region alone, and not necessarily support this project initially. And we even have a press release that's going out today, which you'll be the first to read about. Mm-hmm. The owner of Mayflower Brewing is making a statement. He's very, very positive about the Gifford bill. He thinks that the Southeast region shouldn't be ignored, but he's very smart, and he really is. He says he's intrigued about our project. So what he's saying is, I think, don't leave Region C behind. Region C should benefit from the gaming legislation. And then let's see about this plan in Wareham, and let's see about the other plans. Because there's, 52 communities in the Southeast region, so everyone should have an opportunity to compete.
Now, some of the concerns that people pointed out was issues with horse track racing, animal cruelty.
Yes.
How do you address those?
Great questions, and it was one of the very, very first things that we thought about. We didn't hold back at all in bringing in the best experts in the industry. You have to remember, we have the benefit of a new construction project here, so this will have state-of-the-art technology and it will be a state-of-the-art construction project. But beyond that, we actually hired Dr. Durenberger, who works, she's a vet and she's a really world-renowned expert. She's the leading examining vet for NYRA, for example, the New York Racing Authority. And she has come in and she's helped us come up with initial programs. This would be the safest facility. There would be an equine health facility as part of our program. We even went so far as to hire a specialized architect, GH2, to design the barns, because even the way the horse stables are laid out and organized, there's an art to it. There's a way to do it right, and we want to make sure that we have the safest facility in America.
Okay. So if we still are waiting for the law to be changed, you guys are kind of way early on in the stage, right? Because you already proposed your ideas, and will those ideas change if the law is passed?
Well, we think that we have the program very well evolved. We've spent a lot of time with this nearly 300-acre parcel and moving the pieces around, and we know where things fit. We've studied the land extensively, so we know all about the moth habitats, and we know where the wetlands are, and we know where the vernal pools are, and we know what the soil conditions are, and we've had the land surveyed. You never want to have a surprise later on down the road and find out that you didn't understand a certain component or habitat on the land. We've already done all those studies, which is why I come back to that Goldilocks principle on the real estate. Location, location, location is great. The conditions are phenomenal. And we think the timing is right, too.
Why the timing is right?
The timing is right because of the way the gaming law was applied and the way the current license holders were placed. It kind of left Region C to the side. There was all this chaos about the Mashpee Wampanoags and what would happen there. And it was just a long, tortured story that has resulted in Region C being left behind. So the timing now is that the rest of the Commonwealth is known. Those are licenses that are in place. Those are facilities that are up and producing tax dollars. And now I believe the Gaming Commission will turn its attention to Region C. So that's why I think the timing is just right. People don't want thoroughbred racing, this entire industry, to die in the Commonwealth. And Region C shouldn't, this entire swath of the Commonwealth shouldn't be ignored.
And once again, you're not going to stealing customers from other places because you're going to offer something completely different.
We do want to be a destination, we do want to be family-oriented, and we do want to have that sports orientation right here in Wareham.
Well, thank you so much for being in the studio. I have learned a lot, and I hope you can come back later on as this continues to develop. The next step, we can come and discuss about that too, and we can dive more into the details.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, Queen. This is wonderful. We think it's an opportunity for Wareham to win, and we'd like to be part of it.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.